Oh shoot! All right, Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey. And we are the Markout Movie Podcasters. Yay!
We thank you for tuning in to this episode. I'm recording it because StreamYard doesn't have enough space for some reason,
Woo.
so it's not allowing me to do what I wanted to do. So I'm recording it like typically have been doing for the last couple of times because StreamYard sometimes doesn't seem worth it. Anyway, hey, Brandon.
Hey, Aaron.
Um, welcome. What are we doing today?
We are doing 4 rooms. It's your pick. You should know what
It
we're
is.
doing.
I know it's another rhetorical question. Uh, yeah,
It's been a
today
long day, huh, Ted?
we are doing 4 rooms. Quick. I want to first start with quick clip if I can. I'm trying. This is an experiment, so I'm going to see if it works.
Well, we
So
just lost a viewer.
I'm sorry. Hang in there. Tell me what you think. It's quick clip of 4 rooms.
Anna, Antonio Banderas, Academy Award winner Marissa Tomei, and other surprise guests are checking in.
I travel light.
Tim Roth stars as the lonely bellhop named
Dead.
on his first day on the job,
All you have to do is hold the fort. And the night's cake.
Okay.
and he's in for the most outrageous night of his life.
All right, so that's a little snippet of 4 rooms. The movie that we're reviewing today. 4 rooms. I want to say real quick. 4 rooms is rated R for sex, nudity, violence, gore, profanity, drugs, and alcohol use. So it may not be suitable, obviously, even though there's kids in this movie, it's not suitable for kids. um,
This is going
and
so well.
and yeah, but it was a movie that I watched back when I was 15. So let's throw that out there for the world to see. Yeah, Tim Roth is excellent in this movie.
Is he,
for
though?
sure? Yeah, I think so. I think he played it. He played it. So if you know Tim Roth, you know
I
Tim
do.
Roth.
I do.
You know he typically plays straight, like really. Either he can play a lunatic type of characters. Uh, you know he can play a lunatic type of character, or you know that he can play, like a very like quirky type of character. I think this is more on his quirky side. Probably one of his quirkiest,
Yeah.
characters they played.
Yeah. I agree. Absolutely. 100%. He's quirky. He's
Yeah.
having a long day, too.
Yes, he is having a very, very long day. So, 4 rooms is what we are reviewing today. 4 interlocking tales that take place in a fading hotel on New Year's Eve. Tim Roth plays a bellhop who is his first night on the job, and each room that he has to go to, it's like what's those called? What's those movies called? Where it's like
Anthology?
anthology. It's an anthology
Yeah.
tale with
Tim
one with Tim Roth. Yeah.
With Ted.
Ted.
Are you
call him-
okay?
Don't call him Theodore. Yes, I'm fine.
Yeah, he doesn't like to be called Theodore.
But yeah, I figure we'll kind of talk about each room.
Oh, do we have to, though?
Yeah, we gotta get to it. We've got to talk about the worst room, which is the first room. I think you would agree with that.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah. That's just like, it was like watching a porn.
Oh, okay, Brandon. We're not going. Okay.
Was
All
it
right,
not?
All right, so he says it because of so Tim Roth and In that one, it's a covet of witches, who are
Not all naked, but they're
that's
looking for,
two out of three are. Two
and
out
they're
of the
wanting
4 or
sperm.
5. Yeah, Brandon, this guy
I'm
over
just
here.
telling the audience what they're doing. They're
All right, first, let me ask you this: what were your thoughts on Tim Roth as Ted when you first was introduced to him?
Well, he was definitely quirky. I felt like he was a fish out of water, which I felt that first room was a fish out of water. So
Yeah,
it
you
worked.
said you
It
told
worked
me
for
you was
his
one.
character.
You tell me that you was wanting to cut it off after.
I wanted to cut the room off. I wanted the room. Yeah, I wanted to cut 4 rooms off. I was not into this at all. Matter of fact, I wasn't into the second one that much either, but this one especially. It just, it felt like an adult film.
Okay, Brandon.
Yes, I'm in a bad mood.
All right, so
this is a new character, Moody Brandon. This is gonna work.
Petty
Work
Brandon.
the gimmick, as Rocky Johnson used to say.
All right, so the first room.
You're the good guy, I'm the bad guy. Aaron. Come on, it'll work.
I guess so. First room had let's see. Give it to me. It had Madonna for sure, the biggest at the one. I say the peak still of her career. She's still pretty big. Madonna. It has Valeria Golino, who is always great to see her pop up in something. I hate that she's in this part of the movie. Let's see. Eva was played by Ion Sky. That's the one that needed to get the man's yes, Brandon. And then Lily Taylor's in it as Raven. And then Alicia
Do you have
Witt,
a problem with the word?
Yes, Alicia Witt is in it as
That's what
Kiva.
we're doing.
Alicia Witt, I've known best for I just seen her actually in The Sopranos. I'm going back to watch The Sopranos.
She's in that.
Yeah,
That's nice.
she has like a brief cameo in that show.
Well, that's not
very
nice.
well. It's enough where she's in the whole episode, like but she wasn't really a nice character when you meet her. But
I've
also,
only really I know her from Urban Legend. That's about it. But it's
yeah,
good that
she was
it's good that she was on The Sopranos. Good for her career, I would say.
Yeah, but the first episode, they needed to the first room segment. The first room he goes to, they need to collect certain things to do this spell to bring up Diana, who has been turned into stone. And then one of the things they need is a man's sperm, as Brandon likes to say the word so flippantly.
I'm just calling it what it is, Aaron. What do you?
But
a man's junk, liquid junk. I mean, is that better? No. Sperm is much better. Let it speak freely, man. Freely.
Okay. Weird Brandon. All right.
Petty Brandon. Rudy. It's all Nick Cage today, baby.
So anyway, they had to get this, and it is what it is. The first room is the worst room. He gets some weird CGI, not CGI, weird early graphics done to kind of have him in a trance. And it's so all 4 rooms is directed by 4 different directors.
Yeah, thank God. Right?
Yeah, so let you know that. So the missing ingredient was directed by Allison Anders, who I don't know the rest of her work. Gas Food Lodging, Sugartown.
Shocked.
Yeah, I've never seen any of her other stuff. So anyway,
there's probably a really good reason.
But yeah, it was the weakest one. It was the weakest one. What other than the reason why you say what else did you not like about it?
I just didn't like the whole. I mean, these women are naked. I just felt like there was no point to it. The witch aspects, it bored me. And the whole sperm aspects was just stupid. I didn't really like it, but I didn't think it could get worse. But a little plot hole, it did get a little worse for me in the second room.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and get to it. So the first room, what do you give it out of your markouts?
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5. Okay. So the second room, if I have visual confirmation, I don't. That's probably for the best. No.
It is, especially for what that guy who.
That
guy had.
Yeah, I don't have it. That's why. No, actually, this is from the second room, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is
It is.
in this room, and hey, the funny thing about the second room as well is the guy that played Siegfried in the second room. He was I just seen him in The Sopranos as well. He played a character named Richie, a wise guy.
You probably seen a lot of people from Sopranos.
Yeah, one out of 5.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with that. There was nothing really that kept me wanting to see this. Yeah.
All right, I'll let it go.
All right. So the second room is called The Wrong Man. I'm sorry.
Should have been called something else, but yeah.
It's called The Wrong Man, and it's directed by Alexandra Rockwell. Who Alexandra Rockwell?
To Sam.
I don't know. He did Little Feat. There's nothing else in his filmography that I can just point out and say, hey, oh, this guy did this. All right. I'm getting past the bad ones. All right. So in this segment, he was supposed to go to room 404 to bring ice, but instead he goes to 409 because the guy who was needing ice was no, he was supposed to go to 409. He went to 404. They mixed it up, I think. But he went to I don't know. He's supposed to go to above. He went below. Is what the issue is. So he went to the wrong room, and in this room, he comes in. This guy's wife is tied up to a chair, gagged, and he has a gun on him. And he is saying that Theodore is sleeping with his wife, and he is none too happy about that. This is the truth, is what this scene was about. And it's pretty much him trying to convince the guy, you got the wrong guy. And that's pretty much the gist of it. At one point, he says, this is when I think Tim Roth comes alive a little bit as the bellhop, and a little bit more as far as like when he kind of gets mad that he keeps calling him Theodore. Do not call me Theodore or Teddy or Theo, because I was teased as a kid and because of my name, blah 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 blah. But I liked how he kind of came a little bit more animated in this one. It frustrated with the whole situation.
He had a reason to be animated.
Yeah.
Explain the reason, Aaron. I'm curious. What was the reason?
The reason he was animated is because the guy had a gun to his head.
Is that really the reason, though?
What's the reason, Brandon? What am I missing?
The dude was obsessed with penis.
Was he? I think it went over my head.
Over your, seriously?
Yes, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Towards the end,
wife. Or did I see it from a different perspective?
Yes, Brandon. Clearly.
I thought he was jealous of the wife because he actually wanted it.
Well, because he kisses him. See, I went over my head. I didn't see that. It makes sense now. Because he kisses him towards the end of it.
Yeah.
And then he got mad because he was saying that his wife was like, oh, he gave me his blah, blah, blah.
We certainly did.
Yeah. He said, oh, he gave me this guy. She's like, oh, he gave me his big whatever, the word that she used. But anyway.
PG. You can say sperm, but we can't say the other one. Play
the clip. I don't have the clip. I didn't pull the clip.
And he wouldn't play that.
Yeah, it's not the best room at all. It is not the best room. It's literally a room that the best part of the room is Tim Roth. The best part of no, yeah, I would say the best part of this room is for sure Tim Roth as Ted. He kept you captivated. When he goes into the bathroom to find the guy's nitroglycerin tablets or pills, uh, he tries to escape out the window, and he nearly gets vomited on by the guy above him, and it says ice, and then like vomits. But it was good. He gets out. He finally makes his way out the room. He survives, and then another guy. It ends with another guy coming into the room. His name, whose name happened to be Theodore as well. Uh, and they go through the same shtick again. The wife in this episode, in this part, is Jennifer Beals, who plays the wife. You might know her from Flashdance,
Never seen it.
Book of Eli. She's in that
I
movie.
I have seen that one.
She's been in Law and Order. I don't know. She's been in some stuff. She's in the Swamp Thing reboot show.
Oh, that's what I really know her from then. Okay. She looked familiar. I was like, where do I know this woman from?
Yeah.
But I didn't look her up.
And then David Provo. I know now mainly. I've seen him in other stuff, but now his character in The Sopranos is the character I'm going to know him from, because he's such a prick. He's such a bad guy in that show. But yeah, he was in Shawshank Redemption, Mean Streets back in the day, UHF, The Phantom, that stupid crappy movie with Billy Zane.
I haven't seen it. It's good. Is it not good?
I didn't like it when I seen it.
Movie. He wants us to review it.
Oh yeah, he probably does.
You just trashed it.
Maybe it is good. I don't know. I don't remember it. Maybe it's I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember it. Now he doesn't remember.
I don't remember it. It's okay to have bad memories sometimes, Brandon. But anyway, this episode, the Wrong Guy, Wrong Man, or whatever it was called, it's a bottom feeder episode. If these are the two episodes, the grade. The overall director I guess would be Quentin Tarantino, because he was smart in the way he set up the rooms. He set up the worst room first, the worst of the segments, the worst of the and then the it's like meh next. That's what the Wrong Guy was a meh. It's like entertaining enough. It's entertaining enough, right?
Is it?
Was it not entertaining enough? Was it not entertaining enough, Brandon?
Yeah.
As
my son would say, it's mid.
What kept you interested? What I mentioned, right?
Like I said, man, when it got to the real directors, that's when
you can tell. You can tell a difference. But we're gonna get there.
We're gonna get
Brandon. There. I'm gonna go first since you went first. I give this segment, The Wrong Guy, I'm gonna give it 1.5 markouts out of 5. I think that it 1.5
enough. Yeah, you're gonna give it a 1.5.
It's entertaining. I was gonna give it 2, but you're bringing me down. You're bringing me down to your level, son. No, all right, I'll give it 2. I'm gonna leave it at a 2. I'm gonna give it a 2.
All right, there you go, 2.
What about you, Brando?
Oh, it's a 2. I mean, it was entertaining enough, as you say. It had moments.
Now,
go ahead.
On to the best one.
Well,
go ahead.
You think this is the best one?
No. Well, I think it's, if not the best, one of the best. It kept me. It
had me 4, so
yeah. It literally. This one obviously stars Antonio Banderas.
Yes, same did Assassins. What's the last one?
So let me give you a little backstory for this that maybe will help the way you look at this movie. This right here is this episode, this segment was done by Robert Rodriguez, who is obviously known for Desperado, like a lot of badass.
Spy Kids.
Yeah, Spy Kids. but this brings me into this. This is the prequel to Spy Kids. This is his prequel. This is his.
Really?
Yeah, was his idea of how can I do Spy Kids or kind of so what the point is Antonio Banderas and his wife, even though they recast the wife for Spy Kids, was supposed to be spies. These spies that's going out for a New Year's Eve celebration, believing the kids are alone, and the kids get into antics. In the movie Spy Kids, the kids become spies because the parents was captured or something like that, and they stumbled on it and they became this. But this right here, this segment, Misbehaving or Misbehavers, is supposed to be Robert Rodriguez's prequel, and he's mentioned that this is the prequel to Spy Kids. This is him setting that universe up.
This is my introduction to Spy Kids then.
Yeah, so this is what this is. Yeah, this is the introduction to Spy Kids. Although Spy Kids is what PG or whatever, this one clearly isn't.
No, it's not PG at all.
But
maybe a hard PG-13, maybe. I doubt.
Maybe, but this segment has Antonio Banderas. It has as his wife. His daughter Sarah is played by Lana McKissick, and then the son is played by some other kid out. But he was funny enough. And Tamlin Tomita as his wife. But yeah, so in this segment, Ted is called up to bring champagne to this room. He gets to the room. He meets a family who the husband and wife is going to go out for the New Year's celebration. She wants champagne. She tells the kids, don't misbehave, watch the TV. He was going to leave them there and let TV watch them, essentially. Just don't misbehave. Don't do nothing. Don't misbehave. It's as Antonio says. And he's the smoothest. He's so good in this. I love Antonio Banderas. I'm a fan of his. But and then Tim Roth is paid $500, $300, $500 to watch these kids and to make sure that they don't misbehave. That they go to bed at a decent time. How hard could that be, Brandon?
Well, it's very hard for Ted.
Let's talk about it.
Oh man. Hey, can we talk about Salma Hayek too? She made an appearance. She was on TV.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I'm glad that you caught that.
Yeah, she was on TV dancing.
Yeah, so this is one of the first appearances of Salma Hayek. This is because Robert Rodriguez uses Salma Antonio a lot, for most of his stuff. You can tell.
I was just gonna say I thought this may have been like a little prequel to From Dusk Till Dawn, because her character, I guess, is kind of similar.
Yeah, it could be. And then this is the first, and this is also an introduction. Not really introduction, but it shows that relationship between Robert and Quentin, because Red Apple's cigarettes is the cigarettes the kid is smoking that pops up in this segment, and that's a fictional cigarette that Quentin Tarantino uses for a lot of his movies. Red Apple cigarettes, and so those are, and then also the beginning little cartoon, the dog who's dressed up like Mr. I don't know if it's Mr. Pink or Mr. Orange, I think, from Reservoir Dogs, unzips into Ted the Bellhop, which is played by Tim Roth, who was also in Reservoir Dogs as Mr. Orange. So there you go. So it's like you said, the real director. I hate to say it, that's true. The real directors step in on the back half, on the back end of it. The real director says, "Hold my beer. Let me show you how to do it." Right. And Robert Rodriguez, man, what I loved about this segment is the natural hilarity that is in this, like with just not only Ted, not with Tim Roth as Ted, but also with the kids, the stuff that they were getting into, and the way that they treated one another was just like siblings. They seem like siblings
Yeah.
that were really. And I loved the bickering. I loved the whole thing, the running thing about it stinks in here. It's your feet. No, it's your feet. You know, and so it's neither one of their feet, Brandon. It's neither one of their feet.
What is it, Aaron? What could it be?
Well, we discover later on there is a dead. What? How does he say it, Brandon?
I actually don't remember what he said.
He said, "There's a dead haw in the bed."
Well, see, I
But
thought
he kept
we were
calling
keeping this PG. You got mad at me for saying sperm.
This
You're
guy,
already saying whore.
this guy right here. This guy right here.
That ain't
So
very Christian like.
I am a Christian, Brandon, but there's whores in the Bible. Okay. Anyway,
There's whores in real life. I mean,
this is true. They don't like to be called that. Let's call them women.
I wouldn't like to be called it either. But you are what you are. Let's move on.
Oy vey, this guy here. All right. So
I think
anyway,
this new character's gonna catch on.
it may. We have 4 viewers. He might. That one of them just left. But anyway. So in this scene we have the kids. They are going around the room, getting into stuff, finding things. So Lethea is laughing out loud, and I am as well. There you go. That's a fake laugh. That's like an anime laugh. Anyway, so she finally moves the bed. I love this scene because she Ted puts him to bed. Puts Vic. He says, "If you be good, I'll bring you milk and cookies later." Later on, he comes back with milk and saltine crackers. We don't have cookies, but it dipped him in the milk. I love that. I thought you would love his performance because you love all over the place, and he was all over the place in this one.
He was all over the place. I mean, he was fine. I mean, I liked Antonio Banderas' performance.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Antonio played himself. He's literally a suave assassin in real life, I feel.
Well,
don't come at me. Don't come at me, Antonio. I think you're not, but also you might be connected. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
He's not watching there.
If he was, please come on the podcast, Antonio. We'll love to have you.
There you are. Right. That Mick Foley pop.
But yeah. So, boy, they.
You
so
really liked Tim Roth in this movie. Is what you're saying?
I really liked. Yeah. Well, I love Tim Roth. I've loved him ever since Reservoir Dogs. But this movie was like my real introduction to see who he was, as like where he can go as an actor, as like zany, and he played it more zany, and like almost before there's Ace Ventura, he played it kind of like as a Ace Ventura type of character. It's like all over the place, but he's ultimately, as long as you pay him, he's kind of down for anything. So it's what you get. That's the vibe you get. Almost anything. It depends on what the price is. But yeah.
And the activity.
But I love when he shuck it. He says, "Dip him in your milk." He just dip him in the milk. And the milk slushes around. I just love that. He puts Vicks Vapor Rub on their eyes to keep them. You stay asleep. Keep your eyes closed, or it's gonna burn your eyes. This is what my babysitter did to me. So keep your eyes closed. That's what he says. My babysitter did this to me.
I thought you were telling a little story about
no. He says
there.
no. You were not paying attention to this movie, clearly. All right.
I was, but I kind of checked out at some parts.
Clearly. It's like that. It's like that meme. It's like that meme.
I feel like you're giving Lamaze. Clearly.
Yeah. Not Lamaze. You mean like chest compression, CPR?
I did it that way in Lamaze class.
You did it? Wow.
Oh, yeah. I had a ball in that class, man.
Why are you having the balls in Lamaze?
Laughing. I mean, I started vibrating and everything.
Don't be vibrating in Lamaze class. What are you doing? Don't. What are you doing? Brandon, It's not where you
Obviously, I
go to have a
was.
good time. You go to have
You're not
both
there to
stages.
have a good time, but I had a good time.
Well, maybe the next time around you can have
There won't be a next time.
maybe there will be. I don't know your personal life, sir. You might have another little Brandito coming up in the pocket. Clearly. All right. So I love the scene how when it all is chaos because she scoots the mattress to the side and finds the dead hooker, the lady of the night, and she's been clearly dead for a minute. She's starting to stink, and there's also a syringe that they found, like an empty syringe, because
Hey, did you ever
this is.
wonder if she got paid? Did it ever cross your brain, your mind? Did that woman get paid?
Clearly she didn't, or
I
she
have a
would have been
theory
stuffed
she
in a.
did.
Why would she get paid and
Maybe
be
she got
put?
paid a death
He'll
sentence.
just
I mean,
he'll take it back. You don't leave it on the body
you can't
unless
take
you
it back
just.
once you kill him. But I mean, death sentence is a form of payment.
Okay. This guy. All right.
Something new.
Anyway,
Something new.
they find the body. They find the body. They scream. I love this edit. There's an edit where they're screaming, and then it cuts. And the whole night, the way that he gets interactions to come up the room, he has like this old switchboard where it's like a light that's buzzing, beep 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 beep, and he plugs in to see what they need or whatever. So it's this jump cut to like them screaming, and then like hard cuts to like the shot of the soundboard, beep 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 beep, like help 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 help. And so he's like, "What is it?" And she's like, "There is a dead woman in the mattress. There's a dead body in the bed, and it's just your brother snoring, sleeping." Like, no, no, no. And then she's like, "I know there's a dead body. How do you know? Have you seen her? No, ha." Because you have your eyes closed, you can't see her. No, I washed it off. You never thought of that? Clearly, he never did. Brandon, say it with me. Clearly, he did. He never did.
I think you're doing a good job of that. Clearly.
All right. So he starts to come up there. Same time, Antonio Banderas and his wife is coming back in. She's drunk. He's carrying her in, and he's trying to beat him to the room to check on the kids. He gets up there. Same time, the little son, she's drinking champagne. He's smoking a cigarette, and he comes and takes the bottle, throws the bottle, smacks the cigarette out of his hand, out of his mouth, and it lands and it starts a fire. And no, maybe not. I don't know if it's in that order. She moves the mattress. He sees the dead body. He's cussing and complaining and screaming like, "Oh my God, what is this?" But what's funny is while he's doing it, he is vomiting at the same time. What did you think of that? You didn't like that bit? That was hilarious. He's vomiting while he's talking. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Oh man, this guy over here. Anyway, it was a great bit, and so
it was a great bit, Aaron.
Yeah, and then like so he's talking and he's screaming and he's calling for mercy, and at the same time she stabs him with the hypodermic needle. No telling what's in it, who's used it, and what he now has. And at the same time, he grabs the leg of the woman, pulls out the needle. Antonio Banderas comes in. The son smoking a cigarette, and she gets the bottle, about to hit him with the bottle. And so it's a scene of the painting on the wall that is now down, fire, curtains on fire, rooms on fire, dead lady, and him holding the syringe and his kids, and the son throws the fire, goes up, and he says, "What did he say, Brandon? Give me that."
I don't know.
Brandon was not paying attention.
I was paying attention to Antonio Banderas' expressions.
Oh, this guy here. This guy over here.
I didn't honestly see him say anything. It's like he was in.
He said he was shocked.
He was in shock, yes. And I was.
He dropped his wife. And then he said, "Were you misbehaving?"
Did he?
Yes.
I don't recall.
Because you weren't there. Exhibit A.
Exhibit A. I wasn't there.
But Brandon, what do you give this one that you might not have seen hypothetically? What do you give this room?
I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
I give it 3.5 out of 5.
See,
I
there you
liked
go.
it.
You're
I
higher.
loved it. Yes, because I liked it, and I appreciate good writing and good
Oh,
directing.
if you appreciate
and
good writing,
joke.
you're gonna appreciate
Yes,
the next one.
I know, Brandon. Clearly, you don't like Robert Rodriguez like I like Robert Rodriguez. Okay.
I mean, I like From Dusk Till Dawn. I like Predators.
From Dusk to Dawn is Quentin's, I think.
No. That is Rodriguez. Quentin's in it. I mean, he helped, but it was directed by Rodriguez. I like Desperado, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, I think. I like that one.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Yeah. Okay, so you do like some of his stuff. Like
I like
him
some
and
of his
Quentin.
stuff.
Him and Quentin work together quite a bit. Question for Brandon: What were your most memorable part of the film and favorite rooms? He's about to get to his favorite room.
The last room.
So you set it up, sir. I'm gonna let you set it up. Segue.
I don't know what it's called though. I mean, I just know what it's about.
All right, wait a minute. I'll give you the title.
Okay, go ahead.
If that's gonna help you, sir. The last room is called "The Man from Hollywood," written and directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, they were all drunk, and they were basically they want Ted to cut off this guy's pinky.
But he has to do what?
It's a whole bunch of dialect leading up to it. I mean, it's just, and that's Quentin at his best. I mean, that's just Quentin Tarantino. He's so smart with his dialogue. Like, I love Bruce Willis in this segment, though.
Yeah, Bruce Willis makes a heck of a cameo. So
I did not know he was in this.
Yeah, he was kept off of the because of SAG reason. He was kept up. He didn't get a acting credit in it, but he did it as a buddy to Quentin. Because if you think about it, Quentin with Pulp Fiction revitalized both. I would say Travolta and Willis's. Well, Willis' career was still
Willis was fine.
up there. Willis was still up there. I think he's starting to come to a middle portion of his career. But Travolta for sure. He elevated Travolta. He elevated Jackson.
No doubt.
He took Jackson into like A-list stardom. Like Sam Jackson is now. Like,
I would say he helped Ving Rhames too.
Yeah, he helped Ving Rhames. I think everybody that pops up in that movie benefited. And Tim Roth, I think he's in that movie as well. Wasn't he the with Honey Bunny? Honey Bunny.
They're trying to rob the diner. It's that's memorable. But my favorite, I think, it's the actual of them cutting the pinky off. But I also love just the dialogue between Quentin Tarantino and Bruce Willis.
Yep.
The lady memorable to me.
By the way, what was her name again? Jennifer Beals. Angela, she pops back up from the Wrong Guy segment. She pops up in this one.
What was it? Marissa Tomei was in this segment.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei is in this segment. A very, very brief cameo. This is Marissa Tomei, fairly young in her career too. I don't know if this is before My Cousin Vinny or after My Cousin Vinny. 95.
I'd say it was after.
Yeah, but Marissa Tomei,
I think it was 92.
Yeah, I think was it somebody else is in this movie that pops up. Kathy Griffin. Yeah, she's in the movie. She's his Ted's boss or superior or whoever. I don't know. But anyway, also another guy that's in this movie. I recognize him. He's the guy that gets said pinky cut off. Paul Caladrone.
It was just
Caladrone.
In a sense, it was just really dumb because they wanted him to cut the pinky off, and they were going to like rush him to the hospital to get it sewed back on.
Yeah,
Like,
so let me tell you. So the thing about it is, all right. So Quentin Tarantino in this is a fictional director, writer, or something. He's playing a version of himself, essentially. And
okay. I think every
also
time he acts, he's playing a version of himself.
also this is also you'll see Quentin in this. Quentin always he loves feet, so that's why he brought Angela's character
I
into
think
this one because
is
he
that a
loves
real
feet.
thing?
It's a
Like
real
that's
thing.
because he
He
loved
loves
feet
feet.
and From Dusk Till Dawn too.
He loves
Yeah,
feet
think about
and
feet
Dust to
in
Dust.
that.
He got to have Salma Hayek's foot in his mouth. He loved that. He probably said, "Let's get another take of this." He probably did it 900 times because it's Quentin Tarantino. I'm just saying. I'm pointing out the obvious when it comes to Tarantino.
That's a bit,
Uh,
man. I didn't know he had an actual foot fetish though.
oh, he does. This guy does. But anyway, but yeah.
I don't know why we're talking about it, but
But
we
I,
are.
I, I will say this too. I will say this: Quentin Tarantino is one of those directors that you can't deny his upper echelon ness of being a director. He's like a guy that started as a fan of films, working at a video store to eventually make his movie, which is, I guess, Reservoir Dogs. I
Yeah.
think it was the one they made, but he had a homemade one version before that, and then he kind of spent off into Reservoir Dogs that way, and started. He's very much like the Raimis and stuff like that, but was able, or Kevin Smith in that sense of was able to just say, "This is what I want to do, and let me do it." And so, in this place in his career, Quentin was riding high. He had Reservoir Dogs, he had Pulp Fiction, I think, at this
Yeah.
point. I think he fresh off of is this around the same time of being in Dust to Dawn, or it kind of came out same year, right?
It's around the same time. I don't know which year they actually came out, but it's like mid 90s, 95, 96, something like that.
96 is Dust to Dawn, so
Yeah.
I would say it had to be made around the same time. But yeah, so Quentin was kind of like in his bag. He was,
Yeah.
and I would say for what it's worth, all of Quentin Tarantino's films, and this would be a short film of his if you think about it, but all of Quentin Tarantino's films has been stellar. Like you might not like all of them, but
Yeah.
you I like his stuff. I'm not gonna deny him.
I mean, you
He's
appreciate
very
his
talented.
work.
Yeah, you appreciate his work is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's just a tremendous. Well, first thing, he's a great director, but I think he's even a better writer. Like
Mhm.
that's kind of why I like watching this movie, is just to see what the dialogue's going to be like, because it's going to be rich and original, and I just love watching his stuff. I mean,
You could tell. Yeah, you could tell. Like after watching the four rooms that we've seen in this movie, you can literally tell the difference between Robert, Quentin, and the other two, in the sense of Robert is he's more of a visual director. He likes visual
yeah,
stuff. You think of Dust to Dawn, no, not Dust to Dawn. You think about Desperado and all his other stuff. He's very visual. He
mm-hmm.
wants that great looking scene or that great looking shot. It's the type of director he is. Quentin is dialogue driven, and he tries interesting angles and stuff with his stuff. Like this movie does something that I never noticed before, and I noticed it this time. Is he did a POV of Ted for most of it. He did show Ted's POV, then he went to he showed Quentin's POV. He shows Ted's POV, and then we become a part of the room. We're in the room with them, kind of
Yeah.
seeing the actions happening. Also, the way that he does dialogue, like you said, Quentin is able to have him and Ted having a whole conversation right here.
Yeah.
People over here talking, and at the same time, you have Bruce Willis having a whole argument in the background, and it's all happening at the same time. and it's beautiful. It's not overstepping. You're just like, what's happening here? You want to kind of go into each room and see what's happening. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it was very interesting, to watch how it all played out. But when Bruce Willis came on screen, man, first I was shocked, but second, I mean, it just made me miss Bruce Willis. Like it's old Bruce, it's when Bruce was mentally healthy and just on his game.
And he was having fun too. He had fun.
You can tell he was having fun. Man, I miss that Bruce Willis. That's odd, But
yeah, it's sad that we're not going to ever actually be able to experience Bruce like that again. With his condition,
Yeah.
But yeah, let me real quick show. Where is it? Here we go. There's the crew of guys there. You have Quentin, Bruce, the other guy back there, which I see him and stuff, but I don't really know him that well. And then of course Angela's character, or whatever her name is. But yeah, so in this movie, in this episode, in this room, Quentin Tarantino has a lot of money. He has a car. He loves his car, but he's betting the other guy based on this old I don't know if it was a Twilight Zone episode or something like that, but he's on an episode of if you can light this lighter 10 times or so many times in a row and never it never not light. If he lights it 10 times in a row, he gets Quentin Tarantino's brand new car, like his nice car. And then if he doesn't, he gets his finger cut off. Quentin Tarantino doesn't want to cut off the finger because that's his friend. And then so he needs an impartial man to do it. They invite Ted. Ted gets $100 to come back and just listen to it. Like, his dialogue is so good. He gives him $100, then he just lays it out, and he's counting, but he's talking, and he's like, it's just so, the way it's just so fluent, his dialogue. It's like you could really take a class from writing by Quentin, and just like it's like so good. But I love when Ted agrees to it. He's like, okay, I'll do it. So I think he gets to walk off with $1,100, right? $100 plus $1,000. So
that'd be
all he has to do is, if he does it, flick the he says, "Are you ready? You ready?" And they show the scene of he flicks it, and it's and then immediately cuts it off, grabs the money, and just walks out the door like it's nothing. It's like pleasure doing business with him.
It's like he was very quirky when he was walking. Like he was
like,
he was. And I think the girl says, "Long day, huh, Ted?" at the very end. But I love that line. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, this is why you shouldn't drink and come up with stupid ideas to cut off your fingers. It's not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Yeah, but it worked out for Ted because he ended up, throughout, all in all, for one of the worst nights in his job there, he ended up walking away with a lot of money. Not only just, he made a lot of money in that room. He made $500 from Antonio Banderas. He made zero money from the first two rooms, I don't think. Maybe he made some money. He made some money from the first room. He took it from the I think Madonna's Brazier. At 1% fellas enjoyed y'all today. I have to watch this. Thank you. So I'll go ahead and tell you my thoughts on the last room. I'm gonna give it 5 Markouts out of 5. I thought it was excellent. Just the last overall room was.
Yeah, I give it.
If the whole movie was that, and it makes you. You're right. It makes you kind of gravitate towards wishing that Quentin did the whole thing, but or allowed it to kind of flow. But
I would have liked to have seen Quentin's characters work with Antonio a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would love to see Quentin and Antonio Banderas work together. I don't think they ever have, but that I'm aware of. But I think that would be some cinema. That would be cinema right there, Quentin and Antonio. But yeah. I loved it. I loved this last room. I thought it was definitely the best one. I mean, it was the most entertaining. It was the most well written. It was
best directed, I guess.
Yeah, it was best directed.
All right. So
overall, what do you give this 4 rooms?
All right, 4 rooms overall. I'm going to give it, off the power of the last 2 rooms, I'm going to give it 3 markouts out of 5. For the last 2 rooms, I give it that. The first 2 rooms, if it was the first 2 rooms, it'd be 1. But the last 2 rooms keeps it.
I think
keeps
overall,
me entertained.
So I gave it a 1, 2, 3. I gave it 5. I'll give it a 3. If you don't Letterboxd, I gave it a 2.5. I'll be nice for once during this episode. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. But it's much in part due to Quentin Tarantino. You don't give Rodriguez no love. You didn't like. You was in your feelings at that point. It was watchable, but I didn't think it was amazing.
Well, it was always awesome to me because when I watched this, and then later on, whenever he came out with Spy Kids, I immediately picked up on him. Like, oh, hey, I know this. This is from this is what this is, And I realized, oh, okay. And so when someone asked him, he confirmed it. Yes, it is. So, which, I know I'm not huge on Spy Kids, but but nevertheless, Quentin Tarantino is better. He is a better director than Robert Rodriguez. They're different directors.
They very are.
But Quentin, I can go back and say, oh man, I might want to feel like watching Hateful Eight, which I really never do, because it's a hard watch. But I can say Quentin stuff. I would rather watch more than Rodriguez's stuff, and it's except for maybe Dusk to Dawn and Desperado. That's my favorite one, Desperado. So
it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah,
but I remember really liking it at the time.
Well, Brandon, what do you choose for next week?
I am going to go with a documentary called Brats on Hulu.
Okay.
About the Brat Pack.
Right.
Although I haven't heard great things about it, but it'll be good to see Emilio Estevez and a few of the other Brat Pack members.
Yeah, I'll be down. That's good. So next week we'll be watching the Brat. All right, what do we want people to do, Brando?
Well, if you enjoyed this episode, good for you. Now, if you enjoyed the episode, hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment, and share the Markout Movie Podcast. Markout Movie Podcast. I'll get it right.
You don't know how many years we've been doing this, Brandon? How many years we coming on?
It's been a bad day, man. It's been a really bad day.
Had a bad day. Things done. Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in. Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey,
and we are the Markout Movie Podcasters. We thank you for watching, tuning in. If you did like this, so thank you for liking it. If you didn't, teach them. Blame Canada. All right. We thank you. You have a good rest of your week, and be safe, I guess.